Today's March 27, 2019, a typical morning in Henan Province, China. The children of Shanghai Kindergarten wake up, brush their teeth, and get ready for another day of laughter and learning. Their parents wave them off, never suspecting that in just a few short hours, their world would be turned upside down. 25 innocent children, no older than 5, began to fall, one by one, vomiting, convulsing, losing consciousness. Their tiny bodies writhing in pain. Their teachers scramble, their once mundane day now transformed into chaos. But what could cause such a horrifying scene? Was it food poisoning, a virus, a tragic accident? No, this was no accident. Somebody had poisoned them. And the person responsible? Somebody they trusted, someone their parents trusted, their own kindergarten teacher. This is the case of the Shanghai Kindergarten poisoning and the disturbing truth behind what really happened. It all started that morning during breakfast. The children sat down with their bowls of porridge, chatting amongst themselves happily, blissfully unaware that within minutes their world would go dark. The first signs of trouble were mild. Some children complained of feeling dizzy and woozy, but then it escalated. Vomiting, stomach cramps, some collapsed unable to move. Others started losing consciousness entirely. The teachers at first were confused. What's going on? They called for help, scrambled helplessly as they watched these tiny bodies suffer right in front of them. Emergency services arrived, rushing the children to the hospital. But one of those children wouldn't make it. After 10 grueling months of treatment, one life was lost. The cause? Sodium nitrate poisoning. A substance that in small amounts is used to cure meats, but in large amounts is fatal. And it was deliberately added to their food. The question was, who would do such a thing? Authorities wasted no time in launching an investigation. The food was tested, revealing dangerous levels of sodium nitrate in it. This wasn't a mistake, this was intentional. But who had access to the kids' food? Who would possibly want to harm these children? That's when all eyes turned to one person, Wang Yang, a teacher at the very kindergarten where these children were supposed to be safe. But why? Why would a teacher, a caregiver, do something so monstrous? As investigators dug deeper, the answer was shocking as it was petty. Wang Yan had an ongoing feud with a fellow teacher, if you can believe it or not. Identified as Mrs. Sun, they had clashed over student management, a disagreement that, in Wang Yang's mind, was enough to warrant this revenge. She wanted to get back at Mrs. Sun. She wanted to teach her a lesson. But how did she go about it? Investigators found that Wang Yang had been researching sodium nitrate for weeks. She sourced the chemicals from an online seller, using an anonymous account to avoid detection. She tested it in small amounts in her own food, in her lunch, in her dinner, to understand how much was necessary for her to cause severe illness, of course without immediately raising suspicion. On the morning of March 27th, before the school day began, Wang arrived nice and early. She made her way to the kitchen, where the children's porridge was being carefully prepared. Careful not to be seen, she took out a small packet containing the sodium nitrate and poured it into a large pot of porridge. She stirred it in, ensuring it dissolved completely so that no one would detect an unusual taste or colour. Then she waited as the children ate. Wang Yang watched from the distance, observing their reactions. It didn't take long before the first child complained of dizziness. Then another, and another. By the time the children started collapsing, it was too late. This wasn't even her first time doing something like this. In 2019, Wang Yang had poisoned her own husband using the exact same chemical. He survived, but it should have been a warning sign to people. When Wang Yang was arrested, the public reaction was immediate and brutal. How could a teacher, somebody entrusted with the children's safety, do such a heinous act? In September 2020, the Jiaoju Immediate People's Court didn't hold back. they sentenced her to death, calling her actions despicable and vicious. Wang Yang tried to appeal the ruling, but it was denied, thank God. And on July 13, 2023, justice was served. Her execution was carried out. This case shook China and the world. It highlighted deep concerns about safety in educational environments and the devastating consequences of unchecked personal vendettas. One child lost their life. 24 others had to endure immense suffering. Parents were left shattered, questioning how a place of learning and growth could turn into such an unimaginable sight of horror. It's a case that forces us to confront the unsettling truth. Sometimes the biggest threats don't come from strangers lurking in the shadows. Sometimes they come from the very people we trust the most. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the Shanghai Kindergarten poisoning case. If you found this story compelling, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more info and deep dives into true crime cases. And as always, stay safe, look out for one another. Until next time.